Welcome back to Speducation. I am your host, Brandon Reed, and as always, if this is your first time to the channel, a special welcome to you. Well, it's a new week and we have a new lesson. So, without further ado, let's dive right in. Today's lesson, IEPs and permanent records. So, with IEPs and permanent records, there are a lot of confusion because you've probably heard about permanent records before. Remember how the principal always said, make sure that you do well, make sure you don't get in trouble, because if it does, it's going on your permanent record. That struck a lot of fear in a lot of people for a long time. But what is a permanent record and how does a IEP relate to it? If you have an IEP, is going to be on your permanent record forever and ever? Well, let's find out. So what is a permanent record? The permanent record in question is actually a customary record kept for all students who are currently attending or have attended a public, parochial, or private school. So permanent records are basically documents that the school keeps that has all of your information in there. It can have tests, it can have grades, it can have any kind of incident reports that you had with the school in there. And these permanent records are confidential, which means that no one really can see them without the parent or the individual's consent. So even though, yes, there may be some instances where something that you did do ends up on your permanent record, unless they have a search warrant, they can't really look at your permanent record. Now, permanent records can help you in a number of ways. They can help you when you apply for scholarships, because if you get any kinds of awards or any kind of recognition, those will also go on your permanent record. Now, as for grades, test scores, things like that, well, those are transcripts. And just like the permanent record, transcripts can also be confidential. But if you transfer to another school, obviously the school's going to need those, so they can request that from the school. But in regards to permanent records, well, you need prior written authorization. So the permanent record is confidential, and only certain individuals are allowed to see it. But here's the next big question. Is it really permanent? Well, not exactly. The truth is that schools usually aren't required by federal law to hang on to students' records for any specific amount of time. State laws may dictate how long a school should keep records, but many times records are destroyed once a student is no longer enrolled or graduates. Now, transcripts are slightly different. With transcripts, they will usually hold on to those for 2 or 3 years, sometimes even longer if they have a digital database. But with permanent records, as soon as you graduate, there's no law that says that they have to share it or even keep it. So, permanent records. We're not as permanent as we thought we were, are we? IEPs and permanent records. IEPs are a part of your permanent record. And like your permanent record, IEPs are confidential, which means that only those associated with the student are allowed to view them. So IEPs can follow you? Well, while the IEP process only applies to students until high school graduation, other laws protect the rights of disabled college students and their accommodations, and their IEP can be used as a starting point in obtaining those accommodations. So, although IEPs do help you in high school, when you get to college, they don't really have any kind of special ed programs. Instead, they may have supportive programs. For example, at the University of Indianapolis, they have a program called Build, which is designed for individuals with disabilities, 504 students and IEPs. So even though you may not necessarily have a teacher of record, and even though the IEP may not necessarily have to be followed, because again, at the college level, there really isn't any kind of special ed programs available. There are laws that protect individuals with disabilities. One of these laws is IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. And under that law, it does allow for colleges to use the IEP and the accommodations to provide support to those students. Now, if you liked what you saw, you're new to the channel, or you learned something new, please click that like button. And if you want updates on future videos, feel free to click the subscribe button and ring the bell for updates on future videos. And as always, if you have questions or comments, please drop a line in the comments section. I would love to hear from you. And until next time, class dismissed.